Today is exactly 6 months since September 11th. It's a doubly sad anniversary, not only because of the lives lost, but also because it's an occasion for the U.S. government and the mainstream media to shore up the official story of what happened. And that's the topic of my commentary this week. An American cultural critic once said, "Anniversaries are reservoirs of sacred power." Take Pearl Harbor. This special commemorative edition of Life magazine embodies the official and media version, more than 60 years old, of what happened on December the 7th, 1941. Clean-cut, innocent Americans caught unawares. The spectacle of pyrotechnic destruction. The conspicuous recollection of American boys lost. The patriotic flag-waving citizens. The gallant firefighters. The foreign devils who executed the sneak attack. These words and images, reinforced annually, are the power. This is the official and media version of Pearl Harbor, that the Japanese attack caught the U.S. government and military completely unawares. But this version itself now lies in tatters. Half a dozen reputable historians now agree that the heart of the official and media version is fiction. The recent book, Day of Deceit, The Truth About FDR and Pearl Harbor, is by Robert B. Stinnett. Stinnett spent 17 years researching the book. In it, a series of newly declassified documents show conclusively that President Franklin Delano Roosevelt wanted the attack to happen. His motive was to galvanize American public opinion into support for U.S. entry into World War II, something Americans at the time strongly opposed. This typical top-secret letter to a U.S. Army officer in the Pacific, created on the orders of Roosevelt, says, "The United States desires that Japan commit the first overt act." Roosevelt maneuvered to encourage the attack. Throughout the spring and summer of 1941, the White House manipulated oil negotiations between Japan and the Netherlands. The strategy was to frustrate Japanese acquisition of petroleum products. The Americans had broken the codes of the Japanese admirals wide open. In radio messages intercepted not later than November the 5th, Japan's Chief of Naval General Staff made clear that Japan would attack America in the first part of December. Roosevelt knew the Japanese fleet set sail November the 26th. Roosevelt, before notifying Army Chief of Staff George Marshall of crucial warnings, delayed 15 hours. Then, instead of picking up his scrambler phone, Marshall chose a slower method of communicating to the commander on the scene. The final sentence in Stinnett's book, "After years of denial, the truth is clear. We knew." Roosevelt also knew the loss of American lives would swing public opinion decisively. The final human sacrifice was 2,403 souls. It worked brilliantly. The attack on the World Trade Center has been compared to Pearl Harbor. If the comparison extends to the same foreknowledge and deception, and it has every appearance of that, it will not take 50 years to emerge. But emerge it will, even against a powerful Hollywood-style propaganda blitz that props up the official version, such as last night's documentary, 9/11, on CBS, narrated by Robert De Niro. It's mind-boggling to me that celebrities, the entertainment industry, and especially the news media, apparently have not the slightest curiosity as to why the White House has not to this day ordered any investigation into what happened on the day they commemorate. No inquiry into the jet interceptors that never turned a wheel until too late. No inquiry into the years-long and close links between known terrorists and the CIA. No inquiry into prior inside trading in United and American Airlines stocks. The U.S. President has not called a single person, even a scapegoat, to account for what has to be at least the most colossal, catastrophic incompetence ever.
Justice will be done.
But the giant weapons conglomerates, some of which own media corporations, GE's ownership of NBC is but one example, the intelligence and security and police forces, the military, and many others, including, yes, decent citizens, have a vested interest in the official story, which is that one evil man and his network did it, and the CIA, Pentagon, and White House were caught completely off guard. In the case of the media, the longer they overlook the clanging anomalies in the official version, the more incompetent they're going to eventually look. So they're in denial too. I also commemorate on this day the victims of September the 11th. Within my commemoration, I choose in addition to honor the larger number of victims already killed in Afghanistan, in what President Bush promises is just the first battle in the so-called war on terrorism. I grieve for the many more to be delivered to their deaths. The tone of my commemoration is, more than sadness, anger. The aim of my commemoration is to rededicate the rest of my life to restoring justice and peace. Neither is possible with corruption and deceit rampant. The form of my commemoration is to join with all others of goodwill and critical faculties who understand our inescapable first and most urgent task is to pierce the thicket of lies and confusion about what really happened on September the 11th. The implausible official narrative is being emotionally reinforced on other TV networks as I speak. There's a pressing need for a cleansing cloudburst of disclosure. The official version will remain the bedrock of the so-called war on terrorism until the official version is exposed to the sunlight of vigorous questioning. The stakes are high. That ill-defined war is the cover for the blitzkrieg stage of U.S. world domination. It feeds perversely on the memories of New York firefighters and others. The mainstream media so far stubbornly refuse to ask any questions, even as they drone on about a war on terrorism in the face of an unprecedented U.S. military buildup and actions and threats worldwide that some are calling the start of World War III. Happy anniversary.